So I didn't prepare anything. It's really off the cuff. But I think the most important thing is that and when Marianne and I had spoke, a lot of people don't realize that the real estate industry generates last year generated $4.3 billion in sales. So that's about 6,500 units of properties, residential properties on the MLS. There's probably another 10% that are sold off MLS. So it's a big industry that affects the economy as a trickle down with construction or escrow services, roofing, whatever it may be. Taxes, our tax base, when somebody sells their house that was in Pebble Beach with a tax base of $1,200 of Prop 13, and now the new tax base becomes based on a $5 or $8 million price point, that's a huge windfall for the county. So again, the real estate industry is big. Everybody wants to move here. It's a desirable destination to vacation, to live. I use the saying now, we don't use the term second homes because people already have second homes. They're multiple homes, they're vacation homes. Marianne and I were talking. They may have a house in Aptos and then a house in the Preserve or Carmel Valley, just to follow the weather. But what that really means is, again, these people that have the ability to do that are very demanding. They want what they have elsewhere. So if they're coming from Dallas, Fort Worth, Silicon Valley, they're used to high-speed internet, and they need it to conduct their business, to live their lives, and that's just the expectation. And I think we have the ability to do it, and for the prices that they're paying here, we should offer that as a service. As I'm sitting here thinking about this, and especially with the education aspect of it, a lot of people fail to even investigate what their internet speeds are and how it's going to serve them after they buy their house. That's a liability on us. It really is part of their due diligence that they should be doing prior to the close of escrow. So as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, wow, we're opening ourselves to this. You know, they didn't disclose that they have the old DirecTV big dish mounted on their roof that's providing their cable, internet, phone, everything else at a slow speed. And they move in and they go, it's antiquated. And I have a story where I no longer sell, so it's been 4 years since I've been managing, but I was working with a client, had the ability to buy anything he wanted at any price. His first requirement was high-speed internet. And he would literally drive through the neighborhood. Oh, I only have 2 bars. I won't even look in this neighborhood. And and he's trying to do streaming video on his iPad. Nope, forget it, can't do it. So he went from probably a $5 million purchase to a $1.5 million purchase in Carmel Valley, strictly because of the internet speed. He could have bought, again, anything he wanted, but for his business, for his, I should say businesses, his lifestyle, his children, everything of his life depended on the internet connection. He didn't care about the house. First priority was the internet, because he has other houses as well. So while he's here, he wants to be able to access everything that he needs around the world that runs his business. We have another story, very well-known multi-billionaire, had a house, he's now deceased, in Pebble Beach, spent over $1 million on the smart home, the internet, he literally had a home theater that he could buy the newest, latest movies that are in the theaters at $5,000 a pop streaming video. He didn't care what it cost. He didn't have the streaming video capability to run this system that he just spent $1 million on. So again, liability on our part, ignorance on his part. But from the Dallas-Fort Worth Manhattan marketplace, he just assumed we had it. So there's a lot of that going on, and the smart home systems run everything. Video, they want to be able to do everything that they can in their homes, and that's what we have to offer. So anyway, the good part about this is now that post-recession, home values are back to at least where they were in the past, or probably exceeding that. So that's good. So that means there's equity in people's properties. The foreclosure rate is practically non-existent. Those foreclosures are things that the banks have been holding on to, waiting for the values to come back. The investors have scooped up everything. We literally have an investor from Southern California they get first dibs on everything. So our first-time home buyers, our local investors that are looking to buy something, don't have access to that because it's being sold literally outside of their ability. So the real estate industry is exciting. There's always something new, always something going on. It affects us all. Like I said, I mean, it's your biggest nest egg. It's your retirement. It's, you know, a huge asset that we always pay attention to. And it's funny because people are on our sites checking their values. I had an agent that bought an investment property in Tennessee this last week. She was telling me about her experience shopping on Zillow in the Tennessee market. And they had more video, they had more access to all of the information than we do on Zillow, who's in essence really a competitor of ours. So it's interesting, you know, here we are in one of the most desirable locations with antiquated service. So thank you, Sonny, I appreciate that. So.